Deze is hartstikke awesome Jeff.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. Let's go and let's do this, guys. Man, we are back live this week. I am super excited. We got a big show for you guys. Let's
live. How you like me
comment.
now? We're back.
That's right.
We're live in your face.
Put in the comments who you guys are, who's watching, and just give us a what's up, guys. All right. Before we keep going, we want to let you guys know we are sponsored by the Virtual Fight Tour. And get ready, guys. They have an awesome show. They just put out like all the people that they're going to be fighting. Not all, but like 5 matchups pretty much.
All the fights.
Yeah, so a good amount of the card. So it's going to be great with the team fight. I'm super excited for that. We've talked about wanting to see that. Yeah, man, we've been wanting to see that team fight, and those guys go against each other. It's going to be great. And then several different fights that came out today that are going to be exciting. So Julio Lugo versus Jackson. Thanks for tuning in, man. Julio Lugo versus Justice Floyd, which I'm really excited about. I've known Julio for a long time. But Justice, I've seen him grow up since he was a kid, and he's from South Carolina and came up on the NBL circuit, him and his family. So super excited for that. And I know there was 2 other matchups announced as well. So I know we're going to be talking about those over this month and letting you guys know about that. So if you haven't checked it out, go to join the Virtual Fight Tour Facebook page or Instagram and follow it, guys.
I probably came out with like my pick on a couple of those too soon.
Oh yeah,
right. Like with the Julio Lugo and Justice Floyd fight.
Yeah,
I only had to look at one thing. I just looked at what Julio's weight was.
Oh right.
And he was in the low 180s. I'm like, I'm picking Julio. That's it. Julio's smart. Julio's good.
He is.
And he's an underrated kicker. Right. I fought Julio a number of times. We've gone back and forth. Julio's good. The lower his weight gets, the better he's going to get. And that's not to say like when he's a heavyweight, he's not good, because he is. But he's a fight like a heavyweight, like not like banging. So I saw I think it said like 183. I'm like, oh yeah, check that box. I'm just going with it, right? He's 35. I think that's what it said. He's savvy. You're right there. You're 35. You're like, all right, man. You're either gonna
35 versus 19. That's completely different, and he's at a good range. You know what I mean? Like because he has that experience and he's just feels fresh. So should be exciting. So I'm excited for it. I'm glad. I've been saying for a while that I would like to see Justice Floyd on the show. So I'm glad to see that. So man, how you been? Everything been going well?
Man, it's just like. It's feast or famine over here with like how busy stuff is. Like I'll just be slammed. Like I think it was like Monday. I think I was just slammed all day. It was just couldn't catch a break. And like today I'm like I had a couple of cancellations and I'm like, wait a minute. Do I got a free day? But I can't say it like that. I say it like that to my wife and she's like, oh, let's save money. Don't get a sitter. You just stay home with the kids because that's impossible. Because if you have 2 phone calls to make, you can't. No one can take you serious. Because my kids, my daughter, she'll run like crazy. So,
oh man,
yeah. So I'm like, I got a couple things to do, which I ended up like. It never ends up to where you're just like, oh, I got nothing. You always end up with like 7 other things, which did happen. So it's whatever, man. It's whatever.
Oh yeah, Jackson, thanks for tuning in. We both of us watched your show today, so we're gonna have some more talk. Yeah, we're gonna have some forms talk about certain things as well.
Yep.
So we're excited.
He had
to
good
talk about that.
rewatchables too. He was doing some rewatchables. I like that.
Oh yeah, that was fun. A lot of different ones today. So let's see. What did we say?
I'm having coffee tonight, man. I'm gonna tell you straight up.
Having
It's
coffee?
Like that. It's like that.
Yeah, my day has been super busy as well. Just a lot of private lessons crammed in. Just people last minute asking for them throughout my whole day. Having some meetings. Got to meet with my my instructor today to talk about some projects that he's working on. Looks like we're going to get some tournaments in Virginia around June or July. So I've had several people call me for just talking about that and some advice and stuff like that. And
They want you to do your tournament.
Yeah, or me just to help them out a little bit. So we'll see how it goes. But but I'm excited. It's good for us here is to get some events going on and get going with that. So
you know what? I'm gonna tell you. I did do this one thing this weekend. I had this super bonehead move. Right.
Mhm.
Here's what I did. Oh, thanks, Jackson. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, man.
This is like it's a super dumb like white trash thing I did. Right.
Uh-oh.
So my wife and I used to be with State Farm. We switched insurance companies. We still have like our homeowners insurance with State Farm. We switched our auto insurance to another company, right? And then later on, I was like, why did I do that? Should have never done that, right? Kind of thing. But whatever. And then I get this email from State Farm like, hey, we want you to give you this survey. We're surveying, all of our past customers. We'll give you a $50 gift card. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll do that. All right. My 2 minutes is worth $50. I'll do that. I'm just sitting here doing nothing.
Right.
So I fill it out. Here you go. All you gotta do. And then it was like, oh, you also won this thingamabob. Just you got to pay for shipping, this, that, the other. So it ended up to be a scam, right?
Oh.
I gave my debit card info out there, but I immediately figured out, like, all right,
seriously?
I know, I told you, it was a super dumb white trash thing. Yeah.
No.
It's white trash. It's white trash. So I immediately figured out. I'm telling my wife, I'm like, babe, look at this. This is cool. We got a little gift, and then we get the $50. It's awesome. Where'd it go? And then she's like, really? When's it coming? And then I figured it out. I'm looking at it. I'm like, yeah. It ain't coming. Never mind. Now I got to call and cancel my card. So I call and cancel my card. Like right away, I canceled it.
Oh my God.
Then you got to go through the pain in the butt because you got like all those automatic like withdrawal things that are on your card and like it's whatever, man. That sucks.
Yeah, it's all bad. It's all bad when you have to do that.
And then I tell them to put a rush on my next card to come.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get this thing. I just happen to look at it right now. From FedEx has already come here like 2 different times. And I'm like, they're like, you have to be here when it comes here.
Oh, that's the worst. Yeah.
But I'm like, when is it going to be here?
Right.
All right.
They won't tell you.
Paying me to sit around, wait for you.
That's right. That happens to me in my karate school all the time. So I get the stuff delivered to my home now. And so, which kind of sucks when I have like 4 boxes of like sparring gear that I have to like. Yeah, what was that in your hair, bro?
I don't know, man. I was looking at that. It was bothering
me. But yeah, like when I have 4 things of sparring gear that I have to like take from like just all over the place, instead of it. But they won't deliver it to the karate school unless I'm there. So yeah. Which makes sense. But I mean, I'm glad I don't want it sitting out there.
Maybe. You got to see if you become cool with the driver, like one time you're there, then you can be like, listen, man, listen.
I should be, but
if I'm not here, deliver to the people next door. Then you go,
That's right.
You cool with them. Then you do like a little trade thing back and forth. I used to have to do that.
So
otherwise,
are we getting into? Let's see what happened over the weekend in sport karate. Is that what we're getting into first?
Let's do that. So well, first of all, what happened recently in sport karate? Let's give a happy birthday to Richard Plowden. So Richard Plowden,
happy birthday.
Had a birthday. I forget the day. But I just remember feeling like, we gotta make a note of this. We gotta talk about this because I started thinking about it. Like, all right, it's been decades and decades of his impact on sport karate,
right?
Both as a competitor and as a coach. But if you really think about it, like the last 10 years, I think he's had probably the most impact on sport karate maybe than anybody else. You got to think about it. Like, all right,
He's up there. Yeah, I would definitely
people
think
who've
so.
had the most impact on sport karate in the last 10 years, I would say people like Alex Reyes, sportmartialarts.com,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Richard Ploud.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, there's several like that. I definitely think he has, especially over in the past 10 years. Let's see, what's that? 21, so 2011. What Impex came out in what 13, 14?
No, 12, end of 12.
Okay.
But at that point, he was already the president
Coaching,
of WKC USA.
right. So I
He
mean,
just started that.
that's what I mean. Like it's like these past 10 years, there's been so many things that have grown that he's been a part of. If it was WKC, if it was Impacts, if it was his kicking cancer, all those things that he's been a part of. So yeah, definitely someone that's just stepped it up these past 10 years to make a difference. So
He's a
happy
super
birthday,
influential
and
person.
yeah,
People get around him. They want to talk to him personally. All right. I
Mhm.
want to talk to him. I want to
Right.
hear his opinions on things. Sometimes he tells me, he's like, "Nah, Alex, that's dumb." So, yeah, but it's like he's a super approachable guy, super
Yeah.
respectful, super nice guy.
Yeah.
So anyway, hey, happy birthday, Richard
Yes,
Ploud.
happy birthday.
Coach Ploud.
Yes. One thing before though, like just think of the people that he's helped take to the next level in these past 10 years. You know, I mean, just someone like Jason Grenier, who, yes, he was successful before, but you know, took him to the next level. Someone that he picked up and now is going to the next, you know, is like picking up someone like Troy Benz, you know, years ago. And, you know, there's so many people, you know, of course, Avery and Morgan, how successful they've been in the past 10 years is outrageous and crazy. So,
you know, one of the best examples of that is Chris Gorham.
yes, exactly.
Chris Gorham is a great example of that. He was a black belt at another karate school. I think his dad owns. And he just had a lot in that area. But I believe, and I could be wrong, what I believe is that he just had, I think I heard this, that he just had a lot of time training at TPK, and obviously being part of the team really helped that as well. But he just, that kid is good. You know, Chris Gorham reminds me of a young Jack Felton.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I see it.
Like, there's not like when you say like, all right, what kind of fighter is Chris Gorham? I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, as far as the style and stuff, yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Jack's got a little bit of a killer instinct.
Yeah,
a little bit more. Right. They're both really super cool. But hey, that's
cool.
Good.
All right, so this weekend was the Memphis Open. So CT talked about a little bit more of the fighting stuff. For me, when I looked at it, I saw Memphis Open how in the forums aspect that everyone saw North Georgia Open. So like as far as for fighting, right? So North Georgia Open had a lot of high level competitors there for fighting. It was great, right? For forums on Memphis side, I feel like it was the same way. You had Danny Etkin who came back. You know, he hasn't competed in over a year, and he came to, you know, in a lot of ways, a regional tournament to compete. Conor Chastain, who was there. You had people from Texas, like Garrett Lee was there. You had all kinds of different competitors from the juniors. The junior level, like this was almost like a national event for the juniors there. So a lot of competitors from Infinity, from Macho, from Competitive Edge. So really high level competition, you know. So you know, not that the fighting wasn't good. The fighting was solid, but I felt like the forums was where it was, you know, at another level. You know, you had Isabella, who is a high level. I mean, she's probably won the most overall grands the past 2 years in NASCA for the 13 under, right? And so she won a grand there, I think 13 under forms grand. So watching that, I was excited. because I saw some different stuff in the forums, especially in the juniors. Usually I don't watch the juniors as much, but I saw some different things. We've talked about this before. I think the hand techniques now are better than they've ever been.
Absolutely.
And that's something that kind of gets lost in the shuffle. Some of the cleanest hand techniques I've seen, there was a girl in the 14, 17 grands. Her hands were just outrageously strong and creative. And then there was a guy named Tiger, and he won he's from Infinity. He won the 14 to 17 grands doing a creative form. And just the speed and the power in his hands, I think, is what gave him the first place. So it was really cool to just see some different things like that. There's the girl, Cody Molina, who's awesome with her hands and her speed, but she adds the kicks in there. And I'm going to talk about her. Well, I'll go ahead. She's my competitor of the week. All right. So she won the weapons grand, but I really like her creative form. She's from Texas. She's part of Team Macho. She trains also with fighting with Vito Rodriguez.
Yep.
And
Like that dude.
and then I know she does forms with Joey Castro. She works with a lot of different people. She won with Kamas, but her form to me is really cool because she throws in just creative type stuff, but with kicks. Like, she does a lot of kicking, and she's a really good kicker. The only thing I wish she would maybe mix up her kicking combos a little bit to where there's more, instead of just rounds and side kicks, some twist kicks.
Go in a little bit deeper on that. Go a little deeper. Like, what do you mean? Like, what is she? Because I didn't see the form. So what is she doing now? Which you're like, all right, Isabel. All right, Cody.
Right, Cody. Yeah. So all right. So right now, like,
this is what you need to do. Little virtual coaching right now.
She has an awesome combo where she does. Let's see. She does. Round. She kind of goes in an angle. She does kind of rounds down and then rounds up and then sticks the rounds and then holds it and then moves to the front and then like rotates that from down like in a circular motion to back up.
Okay, follow.
And holds it and then finishes with a side kick. Okay, and that's how she finishes her form, which is it's controlled, is good. For me, it's not as powerful when you do a whole kicking combo of just round kicks because it also doesn't make as much sense to me. I would go side kicks to the knee. It's stronger and it sticks a little bit better. And then it just shows a little bit more variety. So I would like for her to maybe just change it up a little bit on that part. And I know she can do the hook kicks because she does a lot of Hawkeyes and then some knee kicks. So so she's very creative. So I'm looking, and she's young too. So I'm looking forward to seeing her grow and to get better. And then her combo stuff is crazy, but she does pretty much everything right now. So I think she comes from a Korean background, I think she comes from ATA background, but she does Japanese. She does a little bit of everything. So
of course she does Japanese. Of course she comes from a Korean background and does Japanese.
Yeah. So Jack said, he trains her both forms. Yeah, and I think she wins a lot of traditional.
All right, he's got inside info.
Yep. So she's awesome. I really enjoy watching her. And just for me, that's just for me. Like, I do the opposite of other people. I don't end with a side kick. I end with a round kick, and I do a lot of other things because the round kick is longer, so it sticks out more. So for me, a side kick is better in maybe a 2-kick combo or a single combo.
See, this is what we've been missing, Jeff. This is what we need. I love this, man. So you mentioned something that I'm like, all right, talk to me about this. So when you said she's throwing a couple kicks at the knees, kind of going side to side, kicks at the knees, and then goes up high. Am I alone in this? That when I see you start with the kicks at the knees, I'm like, you could just get rid of that. Just get rid of the kicks at the knees altogether, because I know you're not doing anything. Like, eventually you're going up. So why are you teasing me with this? Just start up. Just go up. Right. Am I alone? What's going on?
No, I get what you're saying. That's because for me, is that your comment?
What's up, Tammy? What's up, Mello?
For me, it depends on what you throw to the knees. If it makes sense, right? A side kick to the knee makes sense to me because you're stopping someone and putting them down, right? If it sticks and it holds. If you're just kind of fluttering, then yeah, just go up high. You know what I mean?
I just
But,
don't understand the point of it. I'm like,
Right.
all right, I get it that, all right, you're going to show me that you can go kick, and you're going to do all the different levels, but it's like,
Right.
nobody cares about those levels. Because if
Right.
you did just that and you didn't do the rest, we'd be like, that was a shitty combo. But if you
Yeah.
just did the high levels, we'd be like, all right, that was all right. So
Well-
why are you even showing me this? You know what I
Well,
mean?
you know what I do, right? I do the opposite. I start high and then like make them think that I'm going to be done.
Sense.
Yeah, I make them think that I'm done with one kick, then I go back down to the low and then go back high. So I think
Right.
there's some things like that people can do. I think the other thing that people can do is move angles.
This is like the longest forms talk we've ever had.
I know, but
Love
it's been a while. It's been a while.
Oh,
But
yeah.
move angles on your kicks, because when everything's so stationary, someone else could do, a 540 and 10 hand techniques and another round off backflip in the same time that you did a long kicking combo. And I think that's one reason why we don't see as many. Because I would do a creative form, and the first 30 seconds I would be on one leg kicking. I could do a 30-second long, you know what I mean, like kicking combo, and then I'd be tired. But you know what I'm saying, like that could be your form. So there is a way you have to kind of balance it a little bit, not make it so long,
So I got a question for you, because I actually thought, I didn't know you were going to say this, but I thought about this today.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think balanced that the best that we've seen so far, with doing lots of extreme moves and standing kicking combos? Who do you think?
That's really hard to say. There wasn't that many that did it.
Well, I know who it is for me.
One that did it was, a lot of people have mentioned him. He only did one kick combo though, and it was a good one. He started his form out with a side kick. He rose it up, and then he did another side. He rose it up to the high, and then did another side kick. Then the rest of his form was tricking, and that was Ben Brown. His was good. Matt Bowles was another one who did, a lot of good kicking combos, but he had great multiple kicks and side kicks and twist kicks. Let's see if am I missing somebody else?
No, dude, Mark Canizzato.
But okay, again, like he did one side kick.
He did have some combos. He had it where he would do a side kick, but there would be times where he would do like a couple of them. And I remember, I think it was like the battle.
He could kick. Yeah, he could kick. You're right. I liked when he switched his kick and then went into And
I think the battle in 2005, I think he was a new adult, and I don't know what it was, that finals, he just decided, like, that kid, whatever his form was to start the year, it was that the whole year. But for some reason, that tournament, he decided, whatever stops I have to bring out, I'm bringing them out, which he never did, right? And he would do that. He stuck his sidekick, right? Which we are like, all right, we all know what's going to come next. But then he decided, I'm gainering out of that, which we were like, oh, all right.
That was when
you do that.
Also, when I think he switched, he did one side and he switched. He did one side on the other leg, and then he did the gainer. That was cool to me. I really thought that was cool.
Well, when was the last time you saw an extreme guy do that?
Yeah, I know there's some other people that I can think of. I know on the NBL circuit there were some people that did some good kicks, as well as some tricks. Like Javik Grok, he always did some crazy things.
Yeah. Ooh, that's
some really cool
back,
stuff. So, and even Kim Do back in the day actually could do some great kicking combos and then still do flips. So, but yeah.
If Kim Do hasn't been one of our competitors of the week, he has to be.
He has several times.
That's probably my fault.
All right, but yeah, man. So do you want to go ahead and your competitor because he competed at the tournament as well.
My competitor of the week is Conor Chastain. So Conor Chastain,
he's been mine before, but I think this is the first time.
So I saw this guy, as like a teenager, young teenager. So I've seen him over the last couple of years locally, right? Kid's from Southern Wisconsin. So I'm like, all right, see him from that general area. So there'll be times where he'll go, I see him there, and he was just good, really good. for the school he was at. And it's like, all right, he's by far the best that they've had. He's really good. But on a national level, whatever the circuit, you're like, all right, you'll place. I don't know if you probably won't crack the top 4, kind of one of those in your division, right? Then, and this is a credit to Mike Welch, all right? Mike gets a hold of this kid, and I don't know. I don't want to say it's him because I don't know what the training is like, all right? I might not even be Mike. What up, Jim?
Hey, Jim. Thanks for watching, man.
And all of a sudden, he's now a part of Team Infinity for their training, and this kid just goes off.
Yeah.
Just won the virtual. He won the virtual forms tour against Rashad and Shaquan, and now it's like, all right, this is Conor's time. You're either going to take that and then just go, or you're going to be a flash in the pan.
Yeah, so he won the weapons grands at Memphis Open, and Danny Ekin won the forms grands. And so
this is the time where now he's going to have to beat Danny at some point this year.
Well, he did.
Like every time
he did in weapons.
In forms. He's going to have to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because still, if you look at Danny Etkin, Conor Chastain, I'm going to pick Danny. I'm going to favor Danny almost every time until I see Conor beat him. It's just that kind of thing. Like, but I'm looking at Danny and I'm looking at Conor. Like,
but we're looking
against Conor because Conor's great. But it's like, man,
we're talking about you're just talking about forms, or we're talking about weapons? Because weapons, I think Conor is probably the best there is right now besides Jackson. So
forms.
Okay. Oh, I'm just saying, like, so they're two different, levels. So
right.
Yeah.
Every competitor.
The thing is with Conor, though, Conor won. So he lost the extreme to Danny. He might have won creative, I think, but he also won Japanese. So Conor's a very well-rounded competitor. I've always just admired his work and his work ethic. So it's pretty cool to see that, because you don't really know what tournament, what thing he'll do or be in the grands with, and that's in some ways can be kind of dangerous to somebody else, Well, which form is he going to do? What's he going to, So, I'm looking forward to seeing him grow and get better. Yeah, man. So it was, they had a good tournament.
That we're about to tune out because in forms talk for almost a half hour.
Hey, there's not something for forms people sometimes, so they need a little bit of love.
Lots of times, like the last 2 months, there hasn't been.
Yeah,
because last month was all lightweight month, bro. Wasn't that fun?
That was fun, man. That was a lot of fun. So the first week we had Donald Brady, and man, that was a great interview.
Cool.
Guys, please let us know what you guys think in the comments below. What was your favorite thing about Donald's interview? And then we'll just kind of go down just little things that we thought of. Won't be too long. But what do you think there, Alex? What was the biggest takeaway, you think?
Donald, so doing that interview with Donald, I felt like it would have been the same if we'd have just been sitting around, leaning up against the wall and just talking.
Yeah, we were just hanging out. And it was so cool. And yeah, man, I thought it was just a chill sit down session, and we had fun, man. It was so much fun.
I know.
I felt kind of bad because I didn't know he had to get up at like 3 a.m. So, but
yeah, I didn't know that either. But that was super cool, man. I tell you what,
that was a lot of fun, and just hearing the inside. I think if you haven't listened to that one yet, go guys, because if you really want an insight on how to fight Pedro Xavier or what it was like fighting Pedro Xavier, that interview was it, man. And training with him and everything. So it was really cool. And
the dynamic of, Donald and Ronald being a twin.
Right. Being twins, yeah.
And we talked about another stuff, man. It was just cool.
Yeah. It was a fun one. Yeah, and then the next week was Robbie. And that was a great interview. And for me, it's just being I'm probably an inch or 2 inches taller than Robbie. So kind of relate a lot to him of being the short guy and every excuse that people try to give you why you can't do this or why you can't do that. and
Love that.
he uses that as at his advantage. So I love that because all of us need people like that for our students, for us to point out to our students, be like, okay, you want to complain about this? Here's someone that you can follow that maybe you will relate with, that will help motivate you, right? Then there's somebody else that maybe, a Gerald Dawson or a Cam relates, they will relate to them. So it's great to have those people like that. And Robbie's it was great because he was very well spoken and really you could really understand what he was talking about as far as the way he fights and his mindset towards fighting. So,
and I was honest. Like when I told him, like, hey, whatever team I've ever been on, when we faced one of your teams, I told him, I was like, we've been around for 2 decades, like with each other.
Right.
We've never fought each other. That's not by accident, right? That was the one thing. Like Alex doesn't fight Robbie because stylistically, that's not great. And I'm 5'11", and now I'm like 200 pounds, right? And what's he like? 130s,
like 138, 139, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So you think if you looked at the math of it, you'd be like, oh, go. But then if you do that, then you've clearly never seen Robbie fight. Right. And he creates so many matchup problems. So that was cool hearing him talk about that, hearing him talk about the spin kick.
Yeah.
Right. When he's like, yeah. And he was so cool. It's just so nonchalant when he's like, yeah, bro. Sometimes I don't even mean to land it. I just need to stop their forward momentum.
That's
and
pretty
then,
cool. I like
hey,
that.
they get knocked out. What am I going to do?
Right. Yeah.
You're cool.
Yeah, that was cool. Then our next one was with Ibby, and that was fun.
That's the one I learned the most with.
Yeah, we learned a lot.
I learned the most with Ibby
because he had a different mindset on
everything,
on it, and just how it changed, right? And also how he had to change based on his injuries and things that he did. And so, like, imagine if he was, didn't have that injury, what would have happened, But what was cool was that he learned to actually make his game better throughout that.
You know what
right?
I thought? I was thinking, what if that injury happened today? Like if he was fighting it today.
Yeah.
I think it would have been totally different. I forget what was the injury again. It was a knee injury?
He broke his leg or like knee or kneecap or something like that.
I was feeling like if that injury happened today, the physical therapy that he would have helped him so much. He would have been way better off. Right. Because it pretty much he even admitted, he's like, no, I was 2 different fighters. There's like things I could do, things I couldn't. Like, I pretty much could not kick. I just used it as a decoy.
Yeah, he just used his reputation as being one of the best kickers there was to set people up for his hands, which is pretty cool. And then defensive kicking. So so that was fun. And it's cool to hear someone from that era, like starting in like the early 80s as an adult, really to
I think he said even like the late 70s, maybe.
Right, as a junior, and so he that follows it and knows, what's going on. You know what I mean? Like it was cool because he talked a lot about Justin Ortiz, and then the next week we had Justin. So and that was a fun one, man. Justin was awesome.
Justin was probably the most fun.
It was fun because he broke down some cool things that people don't talk about, and we don't really get to talk about either. Being so American influence, you know what I mean? We don't talk as much about that, and we got to talk a lot about Zolt, Laszlo, and even Roman, and him as a kicker fighting those 3 guys, and why.
Yeah, we disagreed. He and I had. He had like a coaching session on there too.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was a lot of fun. So if you guys haven't listened to that one, man, make sure you do because it's a fun one. Remember, guys, we are a podcast, so we get on here live with you guys, but it's best if you put this on while you're driving to work or while you're doing chores at home or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I listen to podcasts all day long while I'm doing several things, so you can do it. So, but yeah, man. So make sure you guys listen tomorrow at 8 a.m. The Inside Scoop and get if you haven't heard the whole thing of this, make sure you go and listen tomorrow or today if you're listening to us tomorrow. Yeah, I know.
I'm with you.
Yeah. So, man, I mean, that was just a fun month of just getting insight. You know what I mean? So, young fighters, coaches, parents, go and listen to those interviews and get some insight on what they did to become the best, in their sport. So,
I got a question.
Yep.
So I saw a post that Jeremy Roque posted like a couple days ago.
Okay.
Like, you know what I do with Jeremy's post now? I set like alerts. Like when he posts something, like, it lets me know because I'm like, oh, it's gonna be something good today. All right. So he posted something that I'm like, of course, right?
Yep.
Which was, I would rather have a 15-year-old judge than someone who's 50
Oh,
plus.
yes, that was a great one.
And yeah, I gotta say, yeah. I tell you, it is hard. All right. And we're gonna get into I want to get into kind of what it's like today. So first of all, someone who's in their 50s plus for forms, it is hard because what you do so often, because likely you haven't done forms in 20 years, maybe
And we're
10.
talking about open forms. I would say open forms, really.
Yeah, you haven't done open, creative, and extreme form. You haven't done something like that in 20, maybe 30 years, right?
Yeah.
So what you're seeing, you don't even know. You don't even know what you're seeing sometimes. And so that's what competitors have to do. They have to like cater to the fact that you don't even know what you're going to look at. I have to like make you think you know what you're looking at, but you don't really know, right?
Yeah. Hey, guys that are watching, write in the comments what you think about that. Would you rather have a 15-year-old competitor judge you or a 50-year-old judge you? What would be better? Write in the comments what you think. I know everyone's
the worst when you're doing something and then like you get the bonehead judge and you're like, oh, how did I lose? And then they come up to you and you could tell they're about to give you some advice and you're like, whatever you got to say, don't.
Yeah.
Right? Don't. And you know it, right? And you're like, oh, here it comes. Here it comes
And
with
you
this
just have to put on your great smile.
And he puts on, and the whole time, you just feed me a bunch of crap, right? Because you're basically trying to like justify that you robbed me, but whatever. I'm gonna sit here because I'm supposed to respect you, but I really don't, right? And he's like, and they say some dumb stuff, and you're like, you know what you got to do? You just got to like the winner, like he did a great job punching right at his target, hit it right in the center, and you're like, you want to be like, wait a those days are gone. What are you talking about? Right? It's like, yeah, he made sure he punched it right at the solar plexus, right? And all of he made sure we could see what was happening. Like, homie, that's like 20 years ago. We've been done with that stuff. We're lines now, man. We're off the shoulder. What are you talking about?
I don't like all that. No, I like the lines, but you have to be in the center. You hit in the throat, not the shoulder. What is the point?
I understand what I'm saying, though. The idea of it, right? So that it's straight here versus coming down. You know what I'm saying?
No, I know, because when you're doing a lot of techniques fast and down, it looks lazy. It looks like you don't have strength in your arms, and it looks like you're punching down. So that's, I think, what people forget. As far as that goes. But
it looks bad too.
For me, it depends on what division I'm in.
Traditionals, I'll take
50 plus anything. I'll take 15 to 19.
Chris may have a point.
You may have a point on that.
You may have a point. Especially the reason why he may have a good point.
Yeah, but just take a good judge.
All right. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I take the good judge too. The reason why Chris has a really good point is because, especially in the traditional form, like if it's I say it's Korean, all right? The forms gay back like everybody does, all right? He already knows it. Everybody knows it, all right?
Yeah.
If it's choreo, like, all right, everybody, this is not changing, all right?
Right.
We set the time, we set the timing. It's easy. You know what's coming, right?
Yeah.
Or if it's Japanese, if it's unsu, like, all right, I see it. I know it, all right?
Yeah.
We know what it is, right? But if you're doing like in a musical form and they're upset, some ways justifiably, and they want to dog you because you weren't in sync with the music all the time,
Right.
you can be like, the rest of the division wasn't either.
Right.
You know, like
Yeah.
if I watch a division, because I'm not competing in it anymore for a long, long time, all right?
Right.
And I kid you not, I'm watching someone I know, all right, competing, and he shouldn't have won, but should have won higher. But it's like, all right, you got nothing to bark about, so just shut up, right? But I'm listening, and the judge does one of those things. He comes up, puts his arm around your shoulder, and says, "You know what? You got to be, if you want to win this, you have to have your form in sync with the music. If you'd have done that, you'd have won." You got to be like, shut the hell. Nobody was.
Right.
Don't feed me this load of crap.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, yeah, I get that. I mean, I still think the competitor has to take it upon themselves to be different and to stand out. So, I don't know. I mean, you have to for you to do something different, you're going to have to take a bunch of crap for a while to do that, to stand out. It's just the way it is. You know what I mean? It's just.
Now, that's from the forms aspect, though.
For the
fighting aspect, just completely get those 50-plus judges out of there. Just get them out. Get them out.
Yeah, I agree. I think a 15-19 would be okay for it. The only problem I have with 15-19, they're still fans of the people that are, especially, they shouldn't be judging adults. I think for kids, should be judging that, but they're fans, and they don't want to be like hurting anyone's feelings or whatever. Because I've been there where I had a 17-year-old that judged me, and he gave us all the same score because he liked us all, and it was like 3 of us. And it was like, I don't want to pick a winner. Well, he pretty much screwed me out of winning because he did that. You know what I mean? And there's things like that happen. And then, so that happens in forums. You even see it sometimes in fighting, like, what? Yeah, this guy, this is the one to play all the time.
A clash.
Yep.
Nobody scored. Fuck out of here then. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
But
Chris says, yeah, they're still fans, which.
Yeah. But you know what, though? So this leads me to my next thing, which is why, because we started talking about this, how it just goes so fast. For the last couple of weeks, I've been wanting to touch on this one thing. So Carlos mentioned it the last couple of weeks. He's like, where's the defense? Where's the defense? When we listen,
we brought it up in the Ibby interview. I brought it up in the
Ibby interview.
Yep.
So I'm gonna say something. This is gonna sound dumb, but it's whatever. Blocks don't exist anymore. Blocks don't exist, right?
Sad.
It's not like they don't exist, like nobody blocks. They can't, all right? You cannot, because when if someone just blitzes you and you go like this, like in the 90s, you used to be able to go like this. It would hit your hand and just put your rear hand in front of your face, and then they wouldn't get called. Today, if someone just dives right through you, back fist your hand and your butt, or the punch goes right behind you, all of them are giving you that. All right, every single one of them.
Because
I talked about how I hit
someone
in the arm over and over again. Got that point. All right.
Right.
The block doesn't exist. All right, and let's look at the judges we have now. Okay, 10 years ago, those are the same people.
No.
Yes.
Well, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, you're right. It was
10 years before that. Most of them were the same.
I guess so. I don't.
And when did they start really becoming a judge? When they're like 35 to 45?
Right.
Now we got guys who could potentially, most likely, are in their mid 60s. You see what I'm saying? And
well, I get that, but see, I don't see that.
Single day.
But see, I don't see those ones being the issue. I see.
Wow, you gotta open up your eyes a little bit more, man. There's some people I could say, but I like them as a person, but I'm not gonna out them. And if I'm not gonna out them,
no, they're an issue. But overall, as a whole in the sport, they aren't the issue. The issue,
it's a culture, though.
That's what I'm saying. It's the that's what I'm trying to tell you. Shut up for a second, jeez.
All right.
I'm just saying, like, yeah, it's a culture. It's those people that have been in NASCA, let's just say it what it is, and been promoters for all these years. Yes, they have been judging and been doing this for a while, but the overall sport of karate doesn't really determine based on NASCA, because there are tournaments, 5 to 6 tournaments every weekend, everywhere else. So it's more of those people teaching the younger ones what to do. And then it just keeps going the same way. You know what I mean? So it's the leadership. So it does affect, those people do affect it, but it's the leadership that they teach people.
All right. So look at it like this. You know what I used to hate is, like when, like, if you watch like an NFL game and they'll go back and be like, hey, we totally botched that call.
Right.
Sorry, you got screwed.
Right.
I hated hearing that. But you know what, though? After a while, I started thinking about that. I'm like, it's good that they do that. Because if they find themselves in that scenario again, they have to get it right. And they'll do that in other sports too. They'll do that in the NBA a lot.
Yeah, but if you as a player say that someone did a bad call, you get fined. That's ridiculous.
Oh, trust me. I'm not all right with that. All right.
No, that's not right at all. It's like that's one thing I like about our sport is that and that's something that the NBL did big time. Was like, hey, no, like you can arbitrate. You can say that, hey, this was bad. You know what I mean? But
there's a double-edged sword with that, which I like.
No, I know there's a double-edged sword. I know that big time. But
yeah,
it still is like we should still be able to say, hey, this wasn't good. Can we talk about this in a better way for us to move it forward to get better? So I don't know. There's so many things with that. We're going on.
But you know what though? People won't admit when they made a bad call. They just won't admit, like, yo, I effed that one up. So I remember the last one where I made clearly, like, I look back and I go, listen, I effed that up. And there's times where I'll make a call and it does not get scored that way. Right. I mean, I will be like 3 other guys are pointing the other way, but I'm like, listen, I know what I saw. Whatever. You give them the point. I know what I saw. Right? And I'll never forget this. It was AKA 2019. And I shouldn't have done this. All right. Fighters were coming right by me, and Avery was fighting. Can't remember who he was fighting. All right. It's for open weight. Okay. And they came like right at me. I'm a corner judge. And like Avery throws a kick, and I'm like, they're running into me. All right. And he throws the kick. And as I look back at the tape, the guy ducks and the kick goes clear over his head. And I called the kick. And but luckily I was the only one to call it. And everybody looked at me like I had 2 heads. And they were like, what are you on? And dude, it is messed with me ever since that day. Right.
Yeah, I'm like, I have those bad calls that I've done too. Yeah. I get it. Well, see, for me, I always had to do that in Super Grands because I was always the center judge a lot of times, and it was for like the like huge, like I had to judge like a 30-person division at Super Grands, double elimination, and I was the center ref. It was crazy. It was intense.
Forever.
Oh, it was all day. It was a 5-hour division, and I had and this was the year I had that broken ankle. And I shouldn't even have been centering. I wasn't supposed to center. I was supposed to be sitting in the corner. And it was bad. Yeah. But it was one of the most entertaining divisions I've ever seen. But it was that same type of thing, right? Just having to be the bad guy, having to, especially with the kids, having to disqualify people because of things and just parents coming, and getting upset at you. And I mean, there's a lot of stuff right now that you deal with the judge that probably didn't have to years ago. Parents weren't allowed on the floor in the Battle of Atlanta when I was coming up, just competitors. So there's a lot of things like that. And I think in the judges meeting, those type of stuff should be talked about. What do you do when this happens? Huh?
So what Jackson say? I saw that he says.
Oh, yeah. So wait, there we go. Calling in favor of the aggressor, regardless of the block, like Alex was saying, could be contributing to how many comebacks we see in today's game. Fire gets down, starts exploding off the line, last 30 seconds, then gets the calls because of momentum aggression, just an idea. Yeah.
He's right.
I mean, it happens. It's true. You see it a lot.
Yeah, he's right on that.
Yep.
So that's the other thing. So that was the one thing that was one of the things I didn't like about the NBL judging system, was that they would stop the clock
Right.
the last 30 seconds of the match. We talked about this, right?
Yeah.
So I won't reiterate it. All right.
Yeah. You almost lost one of my students because of that. So okay. He beat you.
Yes. I did. No, I know what you're talking about. No, yes, you're right. I did almost lose to him. And I'm like, what are we doing? Well, whatever. So because it's like, all right, the whole idea is to let this other guy come back, right? So we're not going to go into that, but it's just the same thing. Like, all right, because the block doesn't exist, people have to coach differently. Like you can stand with, you didn't hit me. You never hit me. It's like you could keep saying that, but you're going to keep losing.
Right.
So you have to make a decision. Do you want to rest on your no, they never hit me, or do you want to win? And you're competing because you want to win. So you got to make this. So I like to compare other things to different sports as well. So like in the NBA today, I watch a lot of NBA. Right.
Yeah.
So Candace Parker, I don't know if you know what Candace Parker is. Candace Parker is a phenomenal WNBA player, one of the best female basketball players of all time. Right.
Yeah. Ever.
And she made Shaq
and pro.
She made Shaq look like he did not know what he was talking about with basketball. She made him look like you're dumb, right? Because she was talking about how there's no way he would be able to work in today's game, because he's like, just stay with your man. What happened to just stay with your man? And she's like, well, when you have someone like Nikola Jokic, who's 7'1", and he fades out to the 3-point line, you can't stay with your man because you can't cover out on the perimeter. So because you have 5 guys on the floor that can shoot threes, they spread you out. Now you can't defend it that way. But Shaq is resting on like, well, that's not what a center does. Centers play. What happened to just stick with your man? You can't. You have to switch all the time. So, and the way that dialogue went, she's like, you're lost, man. You're lost in today's game. And that's kind of the way. So you have to, so as a coach, look at it like this.
Counter fighters that want to block, and that kind of got stuck. You know what I mean? And there was a few that were kind of at the end, like for me, it was always that Brian Young was like that. He was more of a counter fighter. He would block and then counteract. And sometimes it did well with him, but didn't overall help a lot of times for certain things, because people would just blitz at him, and he'd be like, I didn't even get hit,
Like think if Elijah Everell blitzes somebody, and then they do that same thing. Like he just blitzes them, they block it, and then they hit him afterwards. You ain't getting that, regardless of what's true, because he might be the fastest.
Yeah.
I've ever seen.
I think
Laszlo was pretty damn fast. Laszlo's the fastest.
Man, that dude is fast.
Laszlo? Yeah.
But so maybe
I've ever fought.
Again, while we were talking about Shaq, maybe that's why he went through 2 tables tonight in wrestling. So sorry, I had to add that in there. That's what I was watching right before we got on live, guys. But I was watching my AEW, and and seeing Shaquille O'Neal go through tables, it was insane.
Yo, I got something. So
right.
I don't know if you saw this popping up today, but it was kind of cool. So the Irish Open is canceled. This weekend would be the Irish Open, and the Irish Open International people were like, and people just started doing it on their own. They were like, because this would have been Irish Open weekend. These are some posts of the Irish Open weekends past, and I'm like, dang, that's cool. You know what I mean? And people want to be there all the time. So I started thinking about, like, what if it was this weekend? Like, who would you want to see in the Final Four? Right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right.
I don't know. I was thinking about that for like the women. I was like, I'd want to see Morgan.
Yep.
I think I'd want to see Lily Rouliard.
Yep. Lily. Yep.
And I want to see Evelyn Naines.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, do I want to see Shannon Ryan, Bev Stuziger, Elise Gorel, Kayla Mejia, maybe Katana? I don't know. And I think Shannon Ryan. I think Shannon Ryan is who I'd want to see there.
She's from, where is she from?
She's from England.
Okay, England. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I can't think of I can't remember the girl's name. She's got a crate. She's an insane kicker. I'm thinking it's not Belgium. Maybe it's Spain. No, it's not Spain. Oh man, I'm gonna have to look it up and tell you next week. But
like who you would like to see?
yeah, there's a girl that has some insane kicks, and she's super fast. She's got like long black hair, so I know she's from out there. I can't think of.
Italy.
Might be from Italy, but man, there's some.
Elena
There's some
Pantaleo. That would be another great one.
That would be a great one.
I think if I would stick with the 4, I'd want to see Evelyn, Lily, Morgan, and Shannon Ryan. That's who I'd want to see.
Yeah.
That would be dope.
That would be cool. Yeah, I really like that. For me, for like the men,
that's what I wanted to know.
That's really tough. I like to see Elijah.
I'll take 8.
Yeah, I know, right?
Someone's getting robbed. A lot of people are. Who are you gonna do?
Elijah.
Got to take the past champ.
Yep. Jack.
Hell yeah.
I want to see Cam in there. And then
now you got to kick somebody out.
I know. And that's the thing. I think that's tough. I mean, of course, it all depends on the matchups in the bracket. So there's people that I'm excluding, and I'm not meaning to. But I also got to think that somebody from another country is going to have to be in there besides all Americans. You know what I mean? So, man, I don't think one of the Hungarians will make it. I'm going to put – actually, I think Enrique, actually, I think could probably make it in
I mean, yeah. He won the junior a few years back.
Right.
And then he was in the final 8, I believe.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. Like Avery, Bailey, all of them. It's just – I just feel like some of those guys are going to take each other out, right? And that's usually what happens. So it's kind of crazy how it all works out.
Yeah, I was looking at that and someone last year, when
Alex Bears can make it. You know what I mean?
Alex Bears can make it.
Yeah.
I think Richie made it a couple years ago too, and you're like, I thought you were done. Right? This guy makes the final 4. You're like, what?
Yeah.
But like when Roman didn't fight last year, you're like, all right, well that makes my predictions easier, right?
Yeah.
Because then you're like, all right, I don't know who I'm going to root for now. But it's like, all right, how are you going to take that guy's one back-to-back? Irish Open.
Well, and Hector did really good. He made.
That's who I was going to mention.
Yeah.
But I'm putting Bailey in there.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Tyreek looks really good. All right.
Yeah. He didn't do as well as he could have, there last year.
In 2018, Kevin Walker technically was in the Final 4. But in 2018, they didn't take 4 people to the final. They took 2. They took Roman Brundle and Ross Cook.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the weird year.
That was weird. Yeah.
That was the snow in year. Where and Kevin Walker was in the Final 4 against Tolley, or maybe it was. How's that how it went?
I don't remember. Maybe it was.
I think they did fight, but I'm not quite sure. Now I'm messing it up. I don't know. Or no, he fought Roman. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And he lost to Roman.
Yeah, Mike. Yeah. I mean, Avery, Bailey, Elijah, Roman. Yeah, that's right. I mean, there's so many, man. I mean, honestly, the men's bracket has gotten so big lately. And right now, too, like we've stepped up. Our American fighters can fight over there better now, I feel like.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to see. And I guess for me, like I almost forget that, Hector and like Enrique from other countries, you know what I mean?
Because we see like the Canadians too. Like we kind of adopt. Like when we go there, it's because we know them. Like, oh yeah, I know you. We just kind of adopt them. Like, oh, we're friends.
The only time that it is different is when you actually go to Canada. You know what I mean? Like you do feel like it's not the same because it is a different country. But other than that, you guys are together all the time. You know what I mean? So,
dude, you know who's the best at that? Is Justin rooting for the people that are like? Is Justin Ortiz?
Oh,
I call him the American ambassador of the Irish Open.
yeah.
So he would dude, he's so fun to be around.
Mm-hmm.
We were just at one, and he all of a sudden he find an American fighting. He didn't even know him. He just run over to him and just start coaching him, slapping him on the back. And I'm like, hell yeah, where's that been at? That's super cool.
Oh man. All right. I want to ask a question since we have some people engaging now. So let's see. Monday, CTE asked just who's your favorite fighter. So let's do the forms version of that. Here's one thing that we all messed up on. All right. And I messed up too.
What?
Like Nikki Carlson's probably my favorite fighter. So no one put like a female on there. You know, we need to see here's the female.
She's the best. She's my favorite female. She's not my favorite fighter.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like we didn't hear enough females. This is female month, right? Isn't this National Female Month, Women's History, or whatever month?
I don't know. Is it?
I think so. I think so.
Every month is something. It could be. You said it's National Strawberry Shortcake Month. I would agree with that. Like, yeah, sure, that sounds good.
No. Every day is a different day. Yeah. But anyways, who's your favorite forms competitor? Let's hear it. Who is your favorite forms competitor? And forms. Let's just say forms.
Who's
just say forms, not weapons. Yeah, not weapons. Huh?
Who's yours?
Yes, all right. Mike Bates said Morgan is his favorite fighter to watch, period. Awesome. So for forms, and see, it's hard for me because I look at everything like fighting and traditional and open and all of that, break it down a lot. But man, overall forms, it's really hard. You want me to ask so that way you can say yours, right?
Right on the tip of my tongue. I'll tell you right now, me. I know who it is for forms. I know who it is for weapons. For forms, it is Marcel Jones.
Okay. All right.
He is my favorite. All right.
Yeah.
For weapons, it's Jackson Rudolph.
Right.
That's the best. Jackson, if you're still watching, homie.
So for me, for forms, see, I have like a favorite traditional and a favorite open because to me they're just not the same. But I know, but that's also, huh?
You got a favorite everything.
Well, no, not true.
Maybe it ain't bad.
I'm gonna go. See, I'm in a tie with like two people for my favorite. It's always kind of been like that. It's Matt Nieming and Rudy. Matt Nieming and Rudy are like two of my favorites overall, and it's because of their history and the way it's kind of spanned and the lineage. You know what I mean? Like
Matt Nieming and Rudy. Let's split the difference and just say your favorite Steve Tirada.
For weapons,
that's not bad. Hey, come on, that's not a bad one.
No, that's not bad. For weapons, it's like Casey and Calman. That's kind of the tough thing for me. So it's just like I have such a respect for Casey, and I think everyone knows that she's like one of the best, but in some ways she still kind of gets overlooked. It's kind of weird.
Oh, absolutely.
And so, but then she shows up, everyone's looking at her. You know what I mean? Like, holy crap, Casey Nash is here. She's going to whip everyone's butt. You know what I mean? And she does usually. So,
what's Jackson putting out here?
He divided a bunch too. So,
yeah, he did it too. Yeah.
Steve actually said Matt, traditional John Sue. I like John Sue's nunchuck. To me, John Sue is one of my favorite nunchuck competitors ever.
He is the best. He's the best ever.
Austin Jorgensen. Yeah.
No way.
And yeah, thanks for the love.
So anytime. Chinese is not Austin Jorgensen.
Okay, who's your favorite?
Anthony DeMarco.
Whoa! No. I like Anthony DeMarco, but I don't think he's the best ever.
He's my favorite.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. Favorite.
The best
my
ever.
favorite. My favorite was actually Philip Long.
All right.
And that's like late 80s. So, because this dude did his soft style form when Battle of Atlanta was in a ring and would jump off the freaking ropes. That was cool. Okay.
I gotta see this thing.
Yeah, he would jump off the ropes and stuff back in the late 80s. Yeah, pretty awesome.
That sounds fantastic.
Oh, all right, here we go. Angel, favorite traditional forms? My brother, I'm biased.
Sam Diaz's traditional form is legit.
Yep. Oh, God. Okay. I would say Mike Chat, and then I would say Cole Presley. Yeah, I love Cole Presley's commas, man. I love his commas.
Mike Chat is extremely probably the most influential person.
I don't agree with that, but we've talked about, we've argued about that.
What do you say? He said favorite best would be. I thought you might say DX.
See, DX is like my second favorite. So, and Ming Lu, really Ming Lu is hard. Yeah. See, it's hard because just her eyes, just it's insane. Like the way
I think the best is Ming Lu.
Like it's just outrageous, and that's something I think people forget. It's not just technique. It's not what you do. It's how you do it. And I think people forget about this, your eyes, right? The freaking like how you control the audience and the judges and everything with those.
Ring presence.
Yeah, and there's only a few people that could do that well. I'm going to toot my own horn a little bit, but just like that was something I did really well was the eye presence, you know?
Dude, you had crazy eyes.
Ming Lu did that amazing, you know? There were so many that did that. So I'm excited about that.
All right.
We haven't set up what we're going to be doing the end of this month, but we got some cool stuff with forums that it's going to be exciting, guys. So you're going to want to tune in because we're going to have some of the best of all time.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's going to be some of the best of all time, and really just talking about what we want to see in the future and how our sport can grow. So,
all right, I'm gonna do quickly. Do should it stay or should it go?
All right.
All right. Should it stay? Should it go? Virtual tournaments.
All right. That's a tough one.
No, they should go.
You're saying no. Okay.
They should go. We are creating a culture of you can now you don't even have to leave your house. You don't have to leave your house. And you can do everything right from your I'm not even saying it from a standpoint of get out and go do something and be a part of society. I'm not saying that, although that should be evident, right? I'm saying is like, how are we talking about that you're a champion and you leave your house? Johnny Tension used to have this great quote, said, "You're a world champion, don't have a passport."
Yep. Oh, that's great. Yeah.
How are you anything and didn't leave your living room? You didn't compete against anybody. So now we're creating this because I get what it was at first. I get what it was. Like, all right, let's try to get for martial arts. Let's keep this thing going. If you keep it going now, it's never going to stop. All right.
Right.
And we're just going to be a culture of coddlers. All right.
So I look at it like I look at poker. There's online poker players. And there's people who actually go to the tournaments, right?
Right.
And so
it ain't even close to the same.
Right. And so but people do the online stuff to qualify for the in-person stuff. I feel like there's still an element of it. And I think it served a purpose. And I think it still can serve a purpose, but it can't go like past a certain thing. It's not on the same level. Even if you're doing it live, like Zoom live, but I think there can be a way to get people involved using it, but they still have to go. If they want to go to that next level, they got to go to the event. You know what I mean? Because there's
backing off of that. Here's a great example. I've won online poker tournaments before.
Right.
I've gone to a number of poker tournaments in person. I have never, ever gotten past my table.
Right.
They spread you out tables. I've never won my table, ever. I mean, there's been multiple times, right? And listen, it should be obvious that I'm not going to be a high-level poker player.
Right.
And If there's an emotion I have, here it is. Here it is, guys.
Yeah.
There it is.
True.
Right? Everybody knows what the heck it is.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I mean that's a little bit different, and I don't know if that's changed at all either. Because I feel like they could be doing online poker now with Zoom, and so you could see the face. You know what I mean? I think that was a whole another thing, but
still insane.
No, it's a little bit similar than what it was, but I mean, yeah. No, let's see. We got some people saying, let's see, virtual tournament served a wonderful purpose, but I agree. Yep. No, I understand. Until we're back in full first, it serves a purpose. Once everything is open again, then they are not needed. I think it's
just
still
go to where they're at.
Yeah, it depends on where they're at. I don't know. I think they serve a purpose, but it can't be even looked at as it's a different type of sport. You know what I mean? Like online poker and regular poker are different.
But that's like also saying that teaching bad karate serves a purpose because it gets them involved in martial arts. So then if they want to, they can go somewhere else and take good karate. No, it's not good because now you're dumbing down what martial arts is. So now when people look at you're right arts, they think, oh, that's martial arts. I don't want to have anything to do with that. It's not helping. It's hurting.
No, right.
It's the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which leads me to the next thing.
Go.
So, but I thought I was going to get to this much earlier. So
we got 4 minutes. Let's go.
I might eat it all. So I am sick and dang tired of people talking about their respect. Right? Oh, put some respect on my name. Put some, you gotta respect this. Yeah, all right, we're here. We want to show. Because I'll tell you this right now. I don't know who I'm talking to, but I'm looking at you. Don't nobody care about your respect.
Exactly.
Nobody cares about you, and nobody cares about your respect. Listen.
If you got to ask for it, then yeah.
If you gotta ask for it, you don't get it.
That's right. Just do it. Just get out there and compete and win and beat the best.
Now Jeff and I had to eat crow the first virtual fight tour.
Right. Because let's be honest. Everyone was picking Bailey, right?
Yeah.
So what do we say?
Versus Tyreek.
I think the one person who has the best chance to beat Bailey is Tyreek, which Bailey has said that himself too, right? That's his toughest competitor. Why not us pick something different, change it up a little bit, right? I mean, it's fine. It's okay. I don't care that he said what it doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. It's fun. It pumped him up. That's good.
Yeah.
That part doesn't matter. But yeah, we had to eat crow. He won. It is what it is. But after that, when everyone wants to keep going, put some respect on my name. But I told you about what was it? Years ago, one of my students, like private lesson students, mom was like mad because this is back in the forum days, because her kid's name wasn't mentioned, as someone to look out for, I'm like, well, he's in the 11 and under. He's like his second year competing. He's like, well, he needs some respect. I'm like, no, he's got to just earn it. Like, stop worrying about what everyone's saying online and just go out there, compete, and win.
I don't know a 10-year-old who gets respect. I know 10-year-olds who are supposed to give respect.
Right.
No. See, I knew this was going to happen, Mike. Well, no, because I don't. No, still, whatever. I ate crow because I said whatever. I'll wear the T-shirt if you win, which he did. But you know what? No, the guy won in overtime by one both times. What? I was 2 points off, and he wasn't thought to win either one of those. You want your respect? Whatever, go win. You win. Would you rather have my respect or the win? Which one do you want? You want me to respect you, yet you lose? That's what you really want? That's what somebody wants. You want that? That's worth something to you. You want that? What is that? What can you get with Disrespect. You're gonna do something with it?
Anybody won? Yeah.
Everybody won.
I tell you, listen, his job is to win. So his job is to win. So there you go. No, listen. I like what Carlos was saying. I want to see Jeremy and Yoskar. That would be cool.
Oh, yeah.
3 rounds.
You gotta believe I watched that fight. That fight. That was good. Although I will say, when I watched Jeremy and Yoskar fight, and I can't remember which event that was, Yoskar did not look. I think Yoskar took Jeremy. I don't think he took him that serious.
No,
right?
he didn't.
Because I think Yoskar was like a little late. Like he wasn't as sharp. So I think a 3-round match would be great for the two of them.
Yeah. All right, we gotta finish up. We gotta wrap up. But what, man? Like, let's just talk about that team fight because, guys, again, check out Virtual Fight Tour. What is it? 7? Yeah, 7. And it's coming up at the end of the month. And man, I gotta go with Next Level.
I'm picking Next Level.
Yeah, I gotta go with Next Level. I think Powell has a good shot to going against either of those guys. I think he can do really well. I
want to see Tyson and Powell.
Yeah,
we just want to.
Yeah,
we might not get it.
No, we will.
Everybody's gonna fight everybody. That's right.
Yeah. So that's gonna be exciting. I haven't seen the other kid that much. So
never seen
All-Stars,
didn't even know who he was.
Oh, I have. Yeah, he fought and he did really well at Irish Open as well. So both those guys do good.
I'll have to look it up.
So I mean, it's going to be good. I think D has a lot of maturing to do, and so I'm excited to see him grow as a fighter. So just watching all of his fights at the Waco trials, just made me see okay, he's still getting to that level. But he's older than Tyson, so he has to fight those adults now.
20 or something like that.
No. I think he's like 18. He's like 18. Yeah, just turned 18 or something. So yeah. So it's gonna be good. So I'm excited for that. That's probably the main event. And I'm excited to see what's next, guys.
It is.
Yep. Yeah, and guys, just put in the comments before as well what other fights you'd like to see in Virtual Fight Tour. And maybe, you know what, I would like to see a forms battle in one of these as well. I think we need one. That would be fun. So let's see it. So anything else you got to say, Alex?
No, that's it. Stop complaining about your damn respect. You don't get no respect.
Please.
You got to say something about your respect. Just know I'm going to say something about you not getting it. This has been another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. See you guys next week.